Well, thank you, Professor Dr. Muhammad Faiz Abdullah, Chairman of Institute of Strategic and International Studies, ISIS Malaysia. Well, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Yang bahagia Professor Dr. Muhammad Faiz Abdullah, Chairman of ISIS, Excellencies, esteemed board members of ISIS Malaysia, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. For a start, allow me to draw your attention to the care economy. I'd like to thank the organizers, ISIS, for inviting me to deliver the keynote for this year's PRAXIS conference. I was made to understand that this is a yearly event. Thank you, and today let me draw your attention to the care economy. And it's a big word. The care economy is a big spectrum. So many people ask me which part of the spectrum I'm concerned about. Well, I'll be sharing this with you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the United Nations defines an aging country where more than 7% of its people are over the age of 65. Last year, Malaysia became an aging country where 2.55 million Malaysians, or 7.5% of the country's population, are over the age of 65. This trend is poised to continue. By 2040, 14.5% of Malaysians will be over the age of 65, and a decade later, in 2050, it is expected to reach 20%, resulting in Malaysia attaining super-aged nation status. Therefore, we expect care needs will see an overall surge as Malaysia ages. At the same time, our labor force is shrinking, and our old age dependency ratio is set to increase from 7.2% in 2022 to 21.7% in 2040. An additional problem is that many women leave the workforce due to care responsibilities, where it now stands at 55.8%, one of the lowest in ASEAN. When we were in Singapore, it was about 70%. While women make up 61% of the student number at universities, female unemployed graduates composed of 54.2%, which is more than half of our skilled graduates. These national-level challenges are interrelated, and Malaysia as a whole need to address and develop the care economy. We need a comprehensive strategy that recognizes the value of our care in our economy. Distinguished delegates, why is addressing care a matter of our strategic interest? Care work is the backbone of our societies, as it ensures the health and welfare of dependents. This includes the most vulnerable in our society: children, the elderly, the ill, and the disabled. Ensuring that these dependents can receive accessible, affordable, and high-quality care services is of paramount importance for our social security moving forward. Care work also facilitates labor and productivity, allowing those of us with dependents to continue participating in the workforce, promoting access to job security, social protection, and income over the lifetime. With women making up the bulk of the elderly, it is ever more important their participation in the workforce in their work age years is sustained for a more secure future in old age. Further to that, care work, which forms the care economy, stands to be a productive sector for our national economy. If properly regulated, care work can potentially contribute between 10 to 39% of our GDP, offering a clear indication of the contributions this sector will provide to our economy. How then do we move forward? The first step to recognizing care is to regulate and professionalize care work. Regulation will ensure that standards of care and safety are met. The ministry is already making strides towards this with a push for caregivers to undergo training courses. That's what we are focusing on. For dependents, professionalizing care work can result in better quality of care. At the same time, it will teach them skills that is transferable to the care market and attract more workers to the care economy while also improving training and skills over the long run. Aside from that, ongoing efforts are child carers training and policy reviews, as well as to establish a database for registered child carers. This will assure parents that their children are being cared for in a safe environment. These are just some of the initiatives that the ministry is taking to build the foundations of a care economy in this country. By boosting the supply of caregivers and the quality of care, it will alleviate the burden placed on informal caregivers, allowing them to rejoin the workforce should they choose to. This is aligned with the country's target to boost women's workforce participation to 60% in the next decade, from 55.8% in 2022, as announced by our Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim during the midterm review of the 12th Malaysia Plan. To better facilitate women's participation in the labor workforce, the government will continue to implement the Mama Care Affordable Daycare. Mama Care is an agency under us, under our ministry. Career comeback and nursery fee subsidies at work programs. Further, my ministry will be focusing on better policies and law and ecosystem to support women and training, capacity building, as well as upskilling and reskilling to ensure that we achieve that 60% target. But of course, more needs to be done to build the foundation of a care economy. Doing so will require a whole of society effort that recognizes both its intrinsic and economic value to our lives. I welcome the ideas that will be discussed today in hopes of creating a more equitable and productive future for all Malaysians. Distinguished delegates, to be sure, the multifaceted challenges associated with the care economy, along with the other three topics up for discussion today, will require multi-stakeholder participation to be comprehensively and sustainably addressed. While these challenges may be daunting, I am buoyed with confidence seeing a full half of participants readily and eagerly contributing their time and knowledge to identify potential policy solutions. So on my part at the ministry, I eagerly await the results of today's conference and look forward towards concrete public policy solutions to advance Malaysia's strategic interests. Thank you very much. Terima kasih.